Hi, folks. Chris Voss here from thechrisvossshow.com, thechrisvossshow.com. Come here, blog post I want to share with you. Of course, if you the latest social media and technology, be sure to give us a like, subscribe to us on YouTube. Don't make me come over to your house, otherwise I will. Hit that subscribe button, please. So, what we're bringing to you today is the Apple iPhone 5C. Brand new, just came out, Apple iPhone 5C versus the Apple iPhone 4S. Both of these are actually from Verizon. So what we're going to be doing is pitting the two of them head to head against each other and see who wins. Check out the versus comparison coming up now. Okay, so here we have the Geekbench 3 test that we're taking and doing on both these devices. Now in the Geekbench 3, we've got a score on the iPhone 5C of 692 versus 216 on the single core score. On the multi-core score, it's 1241 for the iPhone 5C versus for the 4S 413. So quite a big difference here in two leaps of the products. Of course, these are two products back, the iPhone 5 and iPhone 4S, of course, is here. So what we'll do is page down through these. Now, I don't worry about the individual scores so much, but the great thing is you can follow along at home just by downloading the app and seeing how it plays out on the phone that you have. And you can follow along at home to see how well your phone works. Now, we're going to be measuring the integer ratings here. Normally, like I said, I don't worry about these, but I slowly page through them so that if you want to see them, you can pause at home and be able to see all the individual data and whatever might work for you. But as you can tell, there's been a huge difference in the quality of the builds. It's gotten to the point where 6 months or a year in a phone business is almost a lifetime. So definitely advancing quite fast on the products and the quality, the speed, and everything else. So the Geekbench 3 app is a great app for demonstrating the benchmarking abilities of mobile processors. Here we got our memory here. We'll page down a little bit more, and that should be all of it. Okay, so here we have the 3D Mark Ice Storm Ultimate that we're taking and using on the score here. The the Ice Storm Unlimited. And what this is doing, testing the processing power of both devices. And you can see here the score on the iPhone 5S came in at 5685 versus 2182. So it's essentially more than doubled, maybe almost tripled from 2 years ago. So you can see the breakdown of the scores here, the graphics scores, physics scores, graphics tests, etc., etc. And that gives you an idea as to how these two babies size up with the 3D Mark benchmarking app. Okay, so here we have the Performance Test mobile app benchmark. This benchmark is done PassMark. You can find it on PassMark's benchmarking app. You can find it on the Android store if you so choose. You want to take a look at it over there. So what we've done is we've taken and pulled the results here. Now the system came in at 3561 versus 1925 on the two devices. And of course, the iPhone 5S is definitely coming in much higher than the performance overall scores of the 4S, being it's much older. CPU the iPhone 5C, excuse me. The CPU is 25062 versus 9042. We'll page down through some more of this. The disk came in at 13081 versus the disk on the 4S at 4422. 3365 on the 5C versus 1804. 2D 1194 versus 641. We'll go ahead and page down some more here. And 2D graphics wise, 1194, as we mentioned, you can see the breakdowns of these, of course. So we'll go through that. 3D 1802 versus 1209. There you have it. Okay, so here we have the comparables on the AnTuTu 3D rating benchmark app between the iPhone 5C and the iPhone 4S. So what we have is the overall score came in at 11,700 on the 5C versus 6677 on the iPhone 4S. So you see quite a bit of difference here on the 3D rating benchmarking score. You can see the breakdowns there. Feel free to pause the video anytime if you so choose. Okay, so here we can see the GFXBench benchmarking tests we run on both these devices. The frames you can see came in at 382 frames with 6.8 frames per second on the iPhone 5C versus the 4S, 151 frames at 2.7 frames per second. On the on-screen tests, We came in at 744 frames at 13 frames per second versus 350 frames at 6.2 frames per second. So there you have it. You can get both these phones that are good friends at AT&T.com. That's AT&T.com with the fastest download and upload speeds, which make it great for processing your data and calls on the 4G LTE network. Also, please give us a like, subscribe to us on YouTube so you can take and get all the wonderful videos that we're going to be doing. We're going to be reviewing all the iPhones against about 25 other phones. So be sure to tune in so you can see how those comparisons work out and which phone might be the best. Feel free to pick the one that you like the best. It's really up to you. Maybe what your budget can afford and what you're most comfortable with. Thanks for coming by the ChrisVossShow.com. Give us a like, subscribe. See you next time.